What could drive someone to commit such a brutal act, leaving an entire family shattered and a small community forever haunted? The Keddie cabin murders of 1981 remain one of the most chilling and unresolved cases in American history, a grim reminder of the darkness that can lurk in even the most peaceful places. This is the story of a night that turned a quiet cabin into a house of horrors and the decades-long mystery that followed. It was April 1981, and the small resort town of Keddie, California, was a quiet, picturesque place nestled in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Known for its cabins and natural beauty, Keddie was the kind of town where everyone knew everyone, and crime was almost unheard of. But that would change forever on the night of April 11th, 1981. Cabin 28, one of the many rental cabins in the area, was home to the Sharp family for the weekend. Sue Sharp, a 36-year-old mother of 5, had recently separated from her husband and was trying to rebuild her life. She had brought her children, John, Dana, Tina, and Rick, to the cabin for a peaceful getaway. Joining them was Dana's friend, 14-year-old Dana Wingate. The cabin was cozy, with wood-paneled walls and a rustic charm, but it would soon become the site of unimaginable horror. The evening of April 11th seemed ordinary. Sue and the children spent the day relaxing, and by nightfall they had settled in for the night. The cabin was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you feel safe, the kind of quiet that makes you think nothing bad could ever happen. But that quiet was shattered in the early hours of April 12th. When the sun rose, Cabin 28 was a scene of unspeakable violence. Sue Sharp, her son John, and the 2 Dana girls were dead. Sue and John had been bound with electrical wire and duct tape, their bodies beaten and stabbed repeatedly. The 2 girls had suffered similar fates, their young lives brutally cut short. The cabin was a bloodbath, the walls and floors stained with the evidence of the savagery that had taken place. But amidst the carnage, there were 2 survivors, 12-year-old Tina Sharp and her 10-year-old brother, Rick. Tina was missing, her whereabouts unknown, while Rick was found asleep in another room, unharmed. He had no memory of what had happened, no explanation for how he had slept through the violence that had claimed his family. The discovery of the bodies sent shockwaves through the small community. Keddie was not a place where such things happened. The police were called, and an investigation began. But from the start, it was clear that this was no ordinary crime. The brutality of the murders, the fact that 2 children had been spared, and the disappearance of Tina Sharp all pointed to something deeply sinister as investigators combed through the cabin. They found clues that only deepened the mystery. A bloody hammer and knife were discovered nearby, but they were never definitively linked to the murders. The cabin's windows had been covered, as if to prevent anyone from seeing inside. And then there were the whispers, rumors of strange men seen in the area, of a possible connection to a local drifter, of secrets that the Sharp family might have been hiding. The investigation dragged on, but leads were few and far between. The police interviewed dozens of people, including Sue's estranged husband, Glenn Sharp, but no arrests were made. The case grew cold, and the Sharp family's tragedy became a footnote in the annals of unsolved crimes. But the story didn't end there. 3 years later, in 1984, Tina Sharp's remains were discovered in a remote area miles from Keddie. Her body was too decomposed to determine the cause of death, but her discovery only added to the mystery. Had she been taken by the killer? Had she tried to escape and died in the wilderness? No one knew. Over the years, the Keddie cabin murders have become the subject of countless theories and speculation. Some believe the murders were the work of a serial killer, while others think it was a personal vendetta against Sue Sharp. There are even those who claim the cabin was haunted, that the violence was the result of some supernatural force. But the truth remains elusive. The cabin itself became a macabre attraction, with visitors reporting strange noises, cold spots, and the feeling of being watched. Some claimed to hear the voices of children, or to see shadowy figures moving through the trees. The cabin was eventually demolished in 2004, but the legends and the questions remain. Before we continue, if you're finding this story as gripping and haunting as we are, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this account for more deep dives into true crime mysteries and unsolved cases. Your support helps us bring these stories to light and keep the memories of the victims alive. Now, Let's delve deeper into the theories and the lingering questions that surround the Keddie cabin murders. One of the most compelling theories involves a local drifter named Martin Smart. Smart was known to have a violent temper and had been seen in the area around the time of the murders. He had a history of mental illness and had made disturbing comments about the Sharp family. Some believe he may have been the killer, but without concrete evidence, the case against him remains circumstantial. Another theory points to Sue Sharp's estranged husband, Glenn. While he had an alibi for the night of the murders, some have speculated that he may have hired someone to kill his family. The motive? Life insurance money and a desire to start over. But like the theory involving Smart, this remains unproven. Then there are the whispers of a larger conspiracy. Some believe the murders were connected to a local drug ring, or that the Sharp family had stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to see. Others think the killings were ritualistic, pointing to the way the bodies were bound and the fact that the windows were covered. But perhaps the most haunting aspect of the case is the survival of Rick Sharp. How did a 10-year-old boy sleep through such a violent attack? Why was he spared? And what about Tina? Did she witness the murders? Did she try to run for help? Her disappearance and the discovery of her remains only add to the mystery. The Keddie cabin murders have all the elements of a horror story: a remote location, a brutal crime, and a mystery that has never been solved. But for the Sharp family and the community of Keddie, this is not a story. It's a tragedy that continues to haunt them to this day. As we reflect on this case, one question lingers. Why do some crimes remain unsolved, their secrets buried with the victims? The Keddie cabin murders are a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can hide in plain sight. What do you think happened that night in Cabin 28? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're captivated by this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more deep dives into the world's most chilling mysteries. Together, we can keep the search for truth alive.